leave it blank until he comes in.
Okay. So I'll just mute.
Hello, I'm Felicia Vereen, always known as Fee.
Hey Fee, and I'm your girl Sharita 3, better known as Fred.
And we are Inspire Her, the Total Woman Podcast, a new podcast all about uplifting you.
Yes.
Because friends, face it, you are awesome.
We'll be chatting up about topics we love to talk about. All the things we as women must juggle every day and the ish we complain about.
But who's listening?
Girl,
We'll chat about the struggle, the job, and about him. You know who we talking about.
Girl.
That boo, husband, boyfriend, ex, whatever you calling them today. Our lovely hellions, kids.
Our angels. But seriously, friends, life happens, and we don't always get a chance to talk about it. We take it on the chin and we keep it moving.
Because that's what we were told to do.
Yep.
But here on Inspire Her, the Total Woman Podcast with Red and Fee, we are the friends you love to hang out with. We are here to inspire her, the Total Woman.
Yay!
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, Sharita.
Hey. How are you?
I am good. I'm feeling a little nervous today, but I'm good. I'm trying to deal with my nervousness. I don't know. I think it's the subject that we got going on. Frank think it's him. He think I'm nervous.
Oh yeah, he think you
I think I'm nervous because he's not here.
I always think.
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen. We have two guests today. Frank the Tank, Frank Rainey, and we have Mr. Sean Spragley, who will be joining us in a few minutes. We got him in the process of getting off of work, so he'll join us in a little bit. But how you doing today, Frank?
I'm doing terribly, as my grandma would say, I'm doing terribly well. How y'all doing?
Terribly well. And thank you for joining us today. We truly appreciate it.
We do.
Thank you for having me. Hate that it had to be in these circumstances, but it needs to be talked about.
Absolutely.
Well, we're gonna start out because today is February 2nd, and it is Black History Month. We get 1 month out the year.
I know, right? But hold on, did the groundhog see his shadow today?
He sure did. It's gonna be 6 more weeks of winter.
Okay. Well, we were gonna probably have that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Black History Month. I know you got a fun fact for us.
Have you guys had a bad winter up there?
No, we had a little snow today in Richmond, Chesterfield area, but not a lot. A little dusting. It was pretty to see. No issues. It was above freezing, so really wasn't, much to kind of be like, we don't really know how to drive in the snow down here. So, you guys get it all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to live over there. So we gotta talk about that. You gotta come down south.
You can go to
Savannah's beautiful. We don't really get a winter. We get it 1 month out the year. We got some rain and fog today, and yesterday it was like 77.
Wow.
This weather is crazy right now everywhere. It's crazy right now everywhere. But my fun fact, guys, and I'm sure you know it because it's all over Facebook. But this year we got 2 Black quarterbacks going to the Super Bowl.
Yay! Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia
Eagles.
Yeah.
Say that again. Who's in the Super Bowl?
The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. I ain't no hater.
I'm going for Philly.
Yeah,
they gonna hear me say that.
Philly need to bring it home for the NFC East.
That's right, because my team had to sit on the couch, but we'll be back next year.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, we'll be.
Sat on the couch. We welcomed all y'all to the couch, made it comfy for you. But I'm gonna be right there. I'm rooting for both of our quarterbacks. I really am. It's a good thing that they made it to Super Bowl. Yeah. But I'm probably gonna be for Philly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, only one team can win it all anyway.
That's true. And it ain't going to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Or the Washington Commanders or Commodores, whatever y'all new name is.
Well, congratulations, Frank.
Yes, congratulations to all the Eagles fans, all the
So, do
Chiefs.
you have a fun fact?
Me? Hmm.
That was our fun fact together, y'all. We couldn't.
Yeah. I
We're
didn't
gonna,
think
we're gonna
about
have a fun fact every week that we come on in February. We're gonna have a fun fact for Black History.
Black History
Well,
Month.
today, we're talking about Tyre, and we just felt like it it needed to be talked about. Me and Sharita, we talk every morning on the way on the way to work, and we talked about Tyre Nichols, and it was just, it was just a sad point to see and hear what happened. I had to listen to and see the video in order to do this episode because I had not seen it. I had put a message out on Facebook, don't send it to me, don't put it in my messenger. I just didn't want to see it.
Right. And I
And,
have to be honest with you, I still didn't watch it. I feel like, seeing that George Floyd video, I kind of like saw it by accident just watching the news. And I tell you, I could not watch it any other times other than that one time. And you know me, I'm always saying you have to be careful of the images you put in your head. And I just didn't want to watch that. Another one of our brothers dying senselessly.
and it's true. And I just wanted to be knowledgeable about what I was talking about today.
That's true.
And I also heard his mother mention in one of her interviews, because I kept saying, why do they keep showing this? Why do they keep showing this? Don't they know if the family is watching? Why do they keep showing this? And she said she wanted it to be shown. She
Mm,
wanted people to see what's going on so they can keep talking about it and we can start doing something about it. Because if you forget about it, if it's out of sight, out of mind, people won't do anything about it. So she wanted it to be seen, and I saw it, and I paid very close attention to what happened in it, and it was sad. It was sad. So I don't. If you don't want to, I don't recommend you see it because it will leave some images in your head that you really can't get out, and you'll
mm-mm.
have more questions than you started with.
Right.
Um, so we invited these two men on the podcast today, and welcome, Mr. Spragley. You're on mute, sweetheart. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Give him a moment to get off of mute. We invited Mr. Spragley and Mr. Rainey
Hello.
to talk to us. Hey,
Hey,
Sean,
Sean.
how you doing?
Hello,
We
ladies
invited.
and gents. How you doing?
Hey,
we
hey.
We do, sir.
good. We're good. We invited Frank and Sean on to talk about, you know, as Black men, to talk about how they felt when they heard about it, when they saw it, what experiences have they had with the police force, and how they felt about it. And we have several questions. So I'm going to start out with Frank. The first time you viewed the video, first of all, do you guys want to say anything before we start? Um, just in general. I'll give you a minute.
I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
fine. If the brother need to say something, go ahead, bro.
I do just want to add
I'll
this
just
quick.
say that.
Oh, I was just saying that what I told you guys off camera, that Omega Psi Phi fraternity revoked the membership of the officers involved in the Tyre Nichols death. So shout out to the Qs.
And I
But
commend my brothers
No.
for doing that.
yes,
I commend
Oh
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to the Q Dogs for doing that. That's very
No
good
doubt.
thing to do. And I'll just say I was like you, Fee. I didn't want to watch it. When it originally first started coming out, I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to hear about it. I didn't want that energy in there. But last week, as we started getting closer and closer to it, and it kept popping up on my YouTube feed, I said, well, let me just see what they're talking about. Because I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but I know it's some BS. And let me just see how much of the shit that we gotta shovel today
right.
during this. So I get you.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was a lot.
mean, everybody has their own opinion, and I'm just checking my page to make sure that it's showing up on my page. Everybody has their own opinion, and it's sad. It's sad what happened. It's sad when I look at it. It's no way you can get around. It was excessive force. And I'm not
Hmm.
sure how anyone can disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how anyone can say that it's not. And if you do, I would invite you to call us up. We'll get on here with you and we'll listen. But my stance is always going to be that it was excessive force, it was unnecessary, and they should be held accountable for it, regardless.
Absolutely.
Now we have some questions for you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna start with Frank. The first time you viewed the video of Tyree's traffic stop, um, how did it make you feel? And the second part of that question is, were you surprised that they were black cops?
So I'll answer the second question first. No, I wasn't surprised it was a black cop. They were black cops. It pissed me off. It really did piss me off on seeing this and seeing that it's continuing in this day and age. Um, and the reason why is I had to deal with this. I'm 49 years old. I had to deal with this stuff when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and hell, even in the 30s. In my 30s, we've always had to continue with this. Why? Why are we continuing with this BS? This is
Mm.
bullshit. I'm sorry. It's just straight up bullshit, and it pissed me off.
Sean.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was upsetting when I first saw it. Seeing the police, actually Richmond police, actually kill someone before my eyes. It was, and then having my encounters with the law itself. It has to me, it's I gotta agree with the brother. Like he said, there's a lot of bullshit, man. And I was kind of surprised. I wasn't surprised about the officers being black due to the fact they're in Memphis. It happened in
Right.
Memphis.
Predominantly
Now,
black.
because I know a lot of black officers in Memphis. At the same time, it threw me though. I'm like, whoa, for real? This is what we're doing this? It's just
Yeah.
it hurt.
Well,
Man, to this day, it still hurt me, because I got a 29-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been my son.
Yep.
I'm like, really?
Okay.
Right.
23, we still doing this?
Mm-hmm.
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I think it's more of an authority
It's just
problem.
sad.
But I don't think that's why I didn't. That's why it didn't surprise me on whether that officer was black, or those officers were black, white, Latino, Asian. Didn't surprise me at all, because it's more. To me, it's more of a authority control issue. That
Mhm.
you get officers that want to be, that feels like that you should listen to them because they are wearing that badge. You have to not feel like you should. They feel like you have to listen to them when they're not even quoting
Have
the
to.
law.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not.
It's
They're a
pretty much
law
a
enforcement
demand,
officer.
actually.
Not even quoting the.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I have to admit, guys,
I
I
agree
was
with that.
I was surprised. I was surprised. Until somebody straightened me out about it, and they said that the only reason you're surprised because you know about it,
Right.
and the only reason why you know about it is because the person got killed. Now, if they were beat up or whatever, you probably wouldn't have found out about it. And
I agree.
I just never would have thought that this would have happened at the hands of black cops. 5. I mean, at the end of the day, when I was reading the articles and listening to the video, there were 10 people around him at one point. And so all those cops have gotten fired. A white cop was put on leave. A EMT has been fired. A fireman has been fired. A sheriff has been let. I mean, all of these people. And um, in the video, when I was looking at it, I saw. So let's talk about it for a minute. First of all, no one knows what happened that led up to it. All we saw was them pulling him out of the car. And the police, they looked at videos. They can't find anywhere where he was swerving or almost hit, because the police said that he almost hit his car. You can't find it anywhere. You can't find it on any of the street cameras, the body cam. They can't find it anywhere. And you pull him out of the car. What'd you say?
I said, how ironic. How ironic they can't find it.
You pull him out of the car. I've been stopped before, and like I was telling Sharita, I've been stopped before. And the cop, when he comes to the car, he asked me, "Do you know what I stopped you for?" And I said, and a couple of times I've said no. And then he told me what he stopped me for. Not once have I ever been pulled out the car immediately, or ever seen anybody be pulled out the car immediately. So that was surprising to me. I automatically thought in my head, is something else going on here that we don't know about? Do they have, is it personal? And I learned it from.
Buffy, I want to ask you a question though, because I want to just go back on what you just said real quick. You said that they couldn't find in the video, they couldn't find anything in the video. I don't know if you got whoopings when you were a kid, but I can remember in the 80s when my mama or my grandmama said, "Go get me a switch," and I come back in there and I say, "I can't find one." You know, it's plenty of switches outside.
Right.
Plenty of switches outside. I can find one. Get out of here with that. The police officers, they can go somewhere with that. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And there's a thing I think, and like I said, I thought it was personal. But there's a thing that I think, if a police officer, like he ran away from them, right? They tased him, they pepper sprayed, this boy was running for his life. He kept running. They got mad because they had to run. Then they had to call their partners to run after him. And by the time they got to him, they like, okay, you done made us run. Now you're going to get it.
But I was just sitting here reading an article where people who have been in the same situation said that they would have run too. Like he was running for his life. So
probably ran.
It's not uncommon for young Black people to run from the police. That's the environment that they've created. You see a police, you run. You for your life.
I told you earlier where I grew up in Highland Park. I grew up in Highland Park, and on 4th Avenue, guys used to sit on the corner of Pinchback and shoot dice and do whatever they did. At the time, we had a police van that came around. They would jump out, boy. They would jump out. And we would always sit on the porch and be like, "Oh my God, there they go again." It's like, we never knew what happened to the guys. They would jump out, grab you, throw you in the van, and keep on going. Who knows what happened to them? You know, who knows if they got beat up or sent to jail? Or one of my cousins, they threw him out a couple streets down in the alley after they done beat his tail.
Right.
But I'm just like, you know, what sense did this make? Like, help me understand this, guys. You guys you're Black men. Have you ever been approached by the cops, had to deal with the cops, and been dealing with a situation like this? How did they treat you? You're on mute again, Sean.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to my bad.
That's okay.
But I have. And I jumped out the car, took off running. They chased me. When I stopped, quite naturally tackled me to the ground, hit me in my face a couple times in the back of my head, put his arm, but fortunately, some people that I knew that was coming up the street and when the car, when they saw my car, they knew I was somewhere around when they saw all the other police. Kicked me a couple of times. It's one thing I do know from dealing with the law. If you run, they're gonna chase you, and when they catch you, they're gonna beat you.
Mhm.
That's that one you can count on. If they don't beat you up, then it determines who it is that you are too. Because some of the officers may know, and a lot of them, man, especially if they ones from this, from the city, and they know you. A lot of them, they may not do that to you because they really don't want that smoke because they know what you come with. You know what I mean? But for the most part, when you're dealing with officers, man, I would say comply. 9 times out of 10, most people that run, in my experience, you don't run if you ain't guilty. If you're not guilty, what you running for? It's just that simple. Now a lot of people would disagree. You put yourself in a situation when you do run because it's so many different things that could come into play with that, with giving them the ability to say, well, this happened, that happened. Like in this case right here. It's so many different, this thing is so messed up on so many different levels that it's ridiculous. For real. It's ridiculous, man. And
But Sean,
a lot of it comes from
if
knowledge of
people
self.
do run though. But if people do run, and you're right that they may be guilty, but are they guilty? They may be guilty of holding some weed. They may be guilty of shooting some dice on the corner. They may be guilty of a traffic warrant. They ain't a lot of these cats out here that are running, they ain't guilty of a murder, kidnapping, assault charge. They're just guilty of some little stuff like that. And so that doesn't warrant, in my opinion, and that doesn't warrant them to be getting their ass whooped by police officers.
No, I don't agree with that at all, bro. I don't agree with that at all. You know what I mean?
One of the police officers in the video said that he had grabbed for his gun.
So Tyre grabbed for the officer's gun.
Now I watched the video and it, huh?
How can you reach for anything when you're handcuffed?
Well, in the video, he wasn't. They couldn't get him handcuffed at first. They couldn't get him handcuffed. They got him on the ground. They kept saying, "Give me your hands, give me your hands," and that's what I think they were mad about because he was outdoing. He wasn't beating them, but he was outdoing them for a minute. They wanted his hands, and 2 cops couldn't get his hands. This little boy quick. He was quick. And when he got up and was able to run and they tased him and pepper sprayed him, one of the cops ended up getting pepper sprayed as well in the process. And he was mad about that. He started pumping him and everything. He was already hot. So, by the time they caught up with him again, along with these other 2 cops that they had caught, listen to the video. They said, the other 2 cops said, "Is this the right guy? Because we didn't know who y'all was talking about. We just saw somebody running and we ran after them." So they really didn't know who they were running after.
He was unarmed and didn't have any weapons or anything on him. So, okay. So, what do you guys
have? Y'all heard the other? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's something else that's going around that, as far as with the officers and him and Tyre knowing each other. Well, not knowing each other, but they have a
girlfriend,
a baby mama. Yeah.
Well, the daddy came on. The daddy came online and said that the rumors were not true.
Not true. Okay.
It's
I know that what was going around.
It did seem like
Daddy came online and he said, I know there's rumors going on around my son. Those rumors are not true. He does not know that cop. So
wow.
now, hopefully they're
He
not
may
trying
not
to.
know him, but the cop may know him. He
Or
may not know the
somebody.
cop, but if you messing with somebody that you used to mess with, I wouldn't know you either.
That's quite possible.
That's true.
It's quite possible
And
because
in
I mean, I
Memphis,
don't know why though. I mean, this was a little skateboard dude.
There's so many unanswered
like I
questions.
said, like I personally, my personal opinion, for real, I think it has a lot to do with knowledge of self. Because if I'm sitting here looking at this screen, and when I look at Frank, I see myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do nothing to hurt that brother or anything to disrespect that brother because I wouldn't want him to disrespect me.
Right.
Right.
And when you are a public official, a police officer, you are bound by the law to serve a civic duty to protect and serve.
Right.
I wouldn't care what color or race you are. You're supposed to protect us, not kill us. And
Right.
if I'm black and I'm looking at you, I can see my uncle, especially if with me, I'm 50. So I see my kids, my nephews, a brother, if he only maybe a father figure or uncle or something, regardless, man, I can see resemblance of myself.
Right.
But a lot of times, unfortunately, when they put that the first thing, because I've had officers in my family. I'm a barber. I cut officers now. So there's no way we could paint all of them with that broad brush and say all of them are bad cops, because it's not. It's not the whole police department, no, or police force. No, it's not.
No,
They're all bad. I believe it's systemic. But here's the thing that I'm saying here, and I'll touch on that, because there was a gentleman who was the mayor up in Utica, New York. He reformed his police department, and how he did it was they started doing testing for these officers, to where they do a psychological test. And he said that in that test, they had to pass that test in order to be on a police force. And when he started doing that, that changed the whole system up there, and it changed it from so many assaults on police officers to little to none. And that's what needs to be done, because this is a training. This is what police officers are trained to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is a systemic thing.
Yeah, it's accountability too.
What I noticed is there's a lot of police officers that come out of the Army or the military, and they become police officers. And I'm saying, let me say this, because I did not say this before we started. Everything that we're seeing today is our opinion. It's not fact. It's just our own beliefs. So those of you who are listening, don't hold anything that we're saying as fact. If you want to know what was in the video, go look at it yourself. I'm just speaking on what I saw. I could have missed something. Where these young men are talking about how they feel, the situations they've been a part of, their feelings towards cops, what they know, what they've seen, what they've heard. All of these are our own opinions. So I just had to make sure that we get that out there.
It ain't that, it's their opinion. It's my facts. It's facts what I'm talking about right now, baby.
So what do you all think should have happened?
I didn't do what you should.
So what do you guys think should have happened during the stop? How do you think they could have handled that or should have handled that situation? Even if he did crime.
Well, first off, I think that any stop needs to be handled with some sort of respect. If you're gonna stop somebody, especially for a traffic infraction, if you're saying that he swerved, did it warrant you to jump, have 5 police officers, 10 police officers jump on him for swerving. So no, even if he says, okay, you know what, I'm getting out of here. Does that still y'all jumping on me? I feel I'm in fear of my life. Does that still go for y'all to chase him down and to kill him 70 yards from his house? No, it's not. You just can't do that. You just can't. You got to have some. You have to have some type of, like Sean just said, knowledge of self. Knowledge of self to where you're saying this is a human being here. You have to remove yourself from that situation. Everybody can't do it. I can't do it. So I understand that you all can't do it. So, but if you're a police officer, this is what you are supposed to supposed to freaking do. This is what you're supposed
to be trained to do that.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
To protect us.
Now, personally, that's right. Now, I can't look at it and say what the police should have done. I won't ever be able to see it that way. That's just not me. Now, I can say from being on the other side of it, what I advise, what I do and what I advise other people that they should do, dealing with it before. I let all my windows down. I make sure I got my, if I can't reach my wallet, I make sure once the windows down, I have all the lights on in the interior of the car. Have my hands on the steering wheel. When you come, man, why you got to there? Because I'm not trying to get shot. Straight up. License, registrations, everything, insurance card, everything. I don't need all that. No, you gonna take it though. Because I don't want you to come back and say that, oh well, this is wrong, this is invalid, this is not, no. I know everything is good. And
do you have your camera?
Yes,
working?
sir. No, sir.
Right.
Yeah,
but you're
the camera working.
And you're speaking from
but I'm not even worried about that because for one, I don't call my wife. My wife on the phone, she can hear the whole conversation.
That's smart. That's very smart.
Right.
Yeah, when I know they stopping me, the first thing I do is call her. Hey, look, the people get ready to stop me. You know what I mean? Because I've seen, like I said before, I've seen the police kill a guy. And he had his hands out the window. Yeah, he had his hands out the window of the car. The officer had his gun drawn. The light changed. I pull off. Next thing I know, I hear the tire squealing and the gunshots.
So why do y'all think respect? Why do y'all think they don't respect y'all as black men and sometimes black women?
I think sometimes they scared. I think they scared.
It's fear. You fear what you don't know. Most people fear what you don't know. If you look at
fear people, you shouldn't be a police officer.
And then you gotta realize, okay.
That I don't think you can, because my ex was a cop and I fear for him every day, because even though he has a gun, when he get out that car and go to that car or wherever he goes, he don't know what the other person has. So of course they're gonna be ready. And sometimes it's not right, guys. Listen to me, it's not right. But sometimes you got inexperienced. Look how young these dudes are on the police forces now. They scared. I think, and the police might be listening to me. Sometimes I think they. Some of them scared, some of them bullies.
Man, look, man. You know what? A lot of times, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sean.
No, because a lot of times we make excuses for a lot of things and for a lot of people when we shouldn't, because there's no excuses for it. You know what I mean? I don't care if you black, whether you're on the police force, I'm just gonna say black and on the police force. 9 times out of 10, you come from an inner city. What you scared of? Nah, it's not being, they don't fear that. They fear a lot of other things. First of all, if I'm looking at you, I'm making $30,000 a year. You got $100,000 around your neck. A lot of that stuff be jealousy.
Mhm.
A lot of that stuff be envy. And a lot of it is, like I said, self-hate. Because if you don't have knowledge of self, knowing who you are and where you're going, the person that you looking at that look like you're not going to respect them.
Mhm.
You're not.
That's true.
Because you don't see that
So,
God in them.
That's true.
and I'll even say it like this. So let's put it in another situation. Let's say that I work for the sewage department, and my job is 5 days a week. I'll go to the tank and I got to shovel poop. I'll put it in there.
That
Shovel
ain't what you
poop.
wanted to say.
Does that give me the right? Huh?
That ain't what you wanted to say.
I gotta go. Okay, then let me see what I want to say. I gotta shovel shit. So I'm shoveling shit 5 days a week. Does that give me a right to when I get off or at lunch get mad at my supervisor and say, let me take this shovel that I've been shoveling shit and knock him the hell out with it? No, that's the job that I chose. You police officers, that's what y'all chose to do. Y'all know the danger.
You're absolutely
you
right,
all
bro.
know the danger.
Absolutely.
The thing
So
is,
why
you all have
you
been
a
told
cop?
in y'all morning meetings, you're told, hey, make sure you get home today. Make sure you get home today. Make sure you get home today. Make sure you get home
That's
today.
the primary goal.
Make sure you get home today. And that's what they're doing. It's brainwashed in them to say that I'm going to get home today. So if I got to kill somebody, whether it's right or wrong, if I got to kill somebody, I'm going home today. I'm not saying that you don't want to die. I don't want to die. Nobody wants to go just sit up here and say, okay, I'm ready to go get killed. But you have to look at a situation. You have to look at each person individually. You just have to, because it's bullshit that y'all saying, or not y'all, don't get me wrong, but the bullshit that they're trying to preach saying that we need to put the shoe on the other foot. Fuck that other foot. Forget that other foot. Y'all are killing people. Y'all are killing people for no reason. And a lot of y'all are getting away with it. A lot of y'all are getting away with it.
Because we're making excuses for it.
That's true.
People making excuses for it, man.
Now I want to. Go ahead. I want to.
No, it's a question on there. Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm go ahead. I'm a guest. You go ahead.
You said they're making excuses for it, and I get that. I understand that. The other part of this is everybody's talking about it. These and this is the part that bothers me. Now I know I grew up in the hood. I knew what it was like to grow up in the hood. I knew what happened in the hood. It was black on black crime. We fought each other. And they put policemen in our neighborhoods to scare us and not to do it. Right? Fight each other, not. And that's what this squad was, the Scorpion Squad. And they have in Atlanta, they have I've been told they have the Red Dogs, and here in Savannah they have the Expo or something squad, whatever it is. And these squads, like these young men, are put in these low income black neighborhoods, high crime neighborhoods, to scare the hell out of us. That's their sole job. Run you down, beat your tail, and scare the hell out of you.
That's one reason.
What's
the other reason? I'm sorry. Let me say this, V. That's one reason. But the other reason is if I can put a young black guy in the neighborhood, he can identify with the drug dealers and everybody else and everything else that's going on in the hood. That's why they're there. You know what I mean? But if you actually really look at it, when you do see it, most of them really don't hold no rank. The sergeants and the high ranking officers be white. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But this Memphis was a black woman police chief in Memphis.
Right.
Who was the high officer on the scene?
The
sergeant or the lieutenant?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Actually, it really doesn't even make a difference.
Which one of it?
But that shit shouldn't have happened. I'm sorry, but that shouldn't have happened.
It should.
And I don't agree. I was saying that because me personally, I know you need to secure these high crime areas. I know you do. But like that, put these special units in there. And from what I understand, these special units, they report directly to the chief. Like, say, for instance, if something happens, like they reported that several of them had incidences and hadn't gotten let go yet. One of them had a domestic violence incident. One of them had he had already been cited for force, excessive force before. I've been told that these any reports about them or complaints bypass their supervisor. It bypasses anybody else and goes straight to the chief, because this is a project of the chief. And if the chief sees fit to let it slide, let them go, they will. Nobody else knows about these other incidences. Now everything is coming out because, of course, they done fired them. People want answers. They're doing all this research. That they can see all of this stuff. But these guys have had reports before now of excessive
Can I say
force.
something? Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know why they continue to do it?
Right.
Because they're not being held accountable for it. They're not being held accountable for it.
Because they are they the bulldogs. They the ones that they send out there time and time again.
See, it's the man. See, that's a mentality that we all start to accept, because they are supposed to be to protect and to serve. I mean, serve and protect, right? But they're not. So if you start looking at them as regular people and you start holding them accountable, they want to go home just like you want to go home. You got a family just like they have a family. If you start treating them like regular people, once you take that, see, we so scared of the police and forget that they are people that just have a job to do. You do not control my life because of your job. That's like me telling the man, okay, I'm cutting your hair, so everything that's going on with you, I'm in control of it right now. Nah. No. See,
I get what you're saying, Sean,
how
but
come
the average person can't just go up to a cop and say, look, without some repercussion. Because they're gonna get you and lock you up. And if you don't have no money, you got a city lawyer that's coming to represent you that ain't gonna do no better than I would, and I don't even have no degree. You're gonna be in jail. So how do you tell that person to take back their life in a neighborhood where they being policed by these kind of policemen? How you
gotta
do that?
come in my neighborhood. You gotta come in my neighborhood. Protect your neighborhood.
How? That's what I want to know. How?
See, sometimes, a lot of times, you already know it get real bad before it get good, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a whole lot of people gonna get hurt. Yeah.
But are you willing to sacrifice
if you
those
continue
people?
Who, me?
The neighborhood. You willing to sacrifice those people?
No. You continue to be in sacrifice every day. Every day they patrol them neighborhoods, somebody's life could be lost.
Or is at risk of being lost.
That's true.
Every time. So there are things that there are methods that could be used. Now I'm not gonna get on here and say it, but there are other things it is. Start treating them as human beings and you watch what happens. They'll stop.
You're gonna have a war. That's what's going on. You're gonna have a war.
Sometimes we already at war. Black man at war when he jump out the womb. We're already at war. And I'm not saying it in the sense to cause no controversy of, people just running around and commit a bunch of violence. But if you actually truly think about it, we're already at war, man. We've been at war, man. Start our lives when our lives begin. I've been at war for the last 50 years. whether it's been orchestrated and systematically set up or however. But come on, man, y'all know, y'all see it, y'all grew up in it too, and it's continuing today.
But the question is,
Unfortunately,
trying to get people to look, tell me, because like you said, we grew up in it, we saw it, but how do we get our men, one, and this is a whole nother subject that I want to broach one day, but how do we get our men, forget the cops right now. We're gonna get back to Tyre.
okay.
Forget the cops right now. Forget the cops. How do we stop fighting each other to come together to to do anything? So we're talking about black cops fighting, black cops killing black men. But we got black men killing each other. We just mad because they're cops right now,
First
and
of
it should.
all,
How do we get to? How do we come together so that we can fight the issues that's going on in our neighborhoods and take back our neighborhoods and keep stuff like this from happening?
when I can look at that brother and see the God in him that I see in myself. See, when you actually really have knowledge of self and know who you are, you're not gonna do. I'm not gonna do. I'm not. I don't look at you and view you, and I'm just. I don't look at neither one of you sisters and view y'all as a hoe or a bitch or a trick. I look at y'all as beautiful black women that's on the move doing some things. A goddess. I look at that brother as a god. You feel me? I don't
get
look
it.
at him as a nigga or some, when see the first we have to hold ourselves to a higher standards. First of all, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is the key.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that and learn knowledge itself, then you're gonna be in trouble your whole life. We
Well,
won't ever be able to come together and sit down as one
so
collective.
who taught you, Sean, about you? Who taught you? Because
Whew.
my question is, who teaching these young men what you're saying?
See, I had to learn from experience in the struggle, but it's so many guys like myself out here today. The thing is, number one, we have to be able to reach these younger the adolescents and the younger adult, because if we don't, first of all, man, it's a lot, yo, it's a lot, but most people act like it's impossible. No, man, that's not gonna ever happen. If you sat down, most young guys, I know when I was young, you couldn't tell me I wasn't tough. You know what I mean? And was willing to do everything it is to prove that I was. But you know what break all that down? Intelligence break that down. Always deal with ignorance with the highest of intelligence. When I see that aggressiveness, I smile. What's up, man? How you doing? That break all that down. And once I'm able to talk to you, once I break that, I'm able to talk to you, I can talk to you on any kind of level you want to go on. However you want to do it, man. You know what I mean? Once I get them that way, then we're good.
So you have a
and
perfect
each
platform.
one teach one.
Right.
Right.
So Sean, you got a perfect platform as a barber. You run across young black men all day, every day. So when you kick this knowledge to them, are they accepting of it?
I wish, and I smile like that because for real, I wish I could tell you how many lives I've changed. How many young men that come to me and be like, "Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man."
Yep.
See,
And
because the times has changed.
Oh
You
yeah.
don't have to do the things it is that we had to do.
mm-hmm.
If anybody on here that know me, y'all know I'm from the streets, the real streets, not the rap streets. Actually, a lot of them songs that them be making actually was
You ain't from the Takashi 69 street?
No, definitely don't do that. You know what I mean? And I'm not, it's just, man, it's a lot, man. And we just have to really, man, reach our youth, man, for real. You know, first of all, you can't. Deion Sanders said one thing, man. I mean, it caught my attention. He said, man, first of all, we gotta stop. We gotta stop raising our dogs like cats.
Mm.
Mm.
You don't raise a dog like a cat.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you treat a dog like a dog. And even with, and I think with me, I'm so grateful because I had strong women, you know, that raised me. No, you're gonna be a man.
Mm.
No, you know what I mean? You're gonna know everything that you're supposed to know as a man. And fortunately, that's why I'm still here. Cause y'all know a lot of our peers are gone
Mm-hmm.
for real.
Yeah,
I mean, if they still here, a lot of them they still gone.
that's true.
And
That is
it's
true.
just, man, it's a lot, man. Like I say, one thing about it, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man. Now having knowledge itself is the key. That's the key.
Yeah.
That is the key. Once you get that, man, it unlocks so many different doors in your life, man. I mean, completely change it for real.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
you
I
understand.
agree. And just
Problem is
and
why
just
we
to add
can't
on what
really
Sean
reach
was
each other.
saying, you gotta love you. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
love you. And once you fall in love with who you are, you as a person, you just look at life different. And that's what just happened to me.
Yeah.
It was just a point in my life where I was like, you know what? Why am I fighting this man? Why am I angry? Why am I so angry? Why am I angry at this person because they cut me off? Now don't get me mad. Don't get me wrong. I'll still get angry, but it's not that stare down. Stare down when I'm driving by them or get in front of them and slam on my brakes. It ain't that no more.
Yeah.
It ain't that no more because I don't want that in my life. You have to
Right.
take that hate out of your heart. Once you take that
That
hate out of
energy,
your heart,
man.
I can walk up to Sean. I never personally met Sean in my life until 52 minutes ago. But
Mm-hmm.
if I would have saw him on the street, what's up, peace God, what's up, fam, what's up, bro, how you doing? That's the attitude you have to take. You have to take that and you
Yeah.
have to show them, you have to show other people that, hey, there is more love out here than there is hate. And
Yes.
don't get me wrong, there's a lot of hate, but there's a lot more love out here than hate. And you have to show that love to other people. You have to show that love to your men, your women, black men, black women, Chinese, Asian, whatever the case may be. You have to show that love. And they have to show, and they should be showing that love back. That's that
That should
energy
be
that you have to
reciprocated.
bring aboard.
Do you guys
Yeah.
ever experience where like a young black guy or male or something will give more respect to a white person than they would to their own black people? Like they kind of
Yeah.
like get into this, yeah, like they treat the white people differently than they would treat their own brother. Would give them more respect. You guys
Yeah.
notice that?
Yeah, that
I
comes back
don't
to
know.
knowledge itself. Can I hold on? I want to show y'all something real quick.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything. Not saying that it hasn't happened. I choose not to pay attention to it if they do. Like, oh, is that a fact? That's how I look at it. So
Yeah, I've seen it.
If y'all haven't or don't know
Willie
anything
Lynch.
about this,
Willie Lynch.
please get this. And I advise all of y'all viewers to actually please get this and read this. It's only like 30 some pages. Matter of fact, it's not even 30
Title?
pages. It's like
What's the title and who
28
is the
pages.
author? What's the title and who's the author?
It's the Willie Lynch letter and the making of a slave. And the author is you'll better find it once you Google that. Candy gonna make sure y'all get it.
Okay.
See,
If she wants to, she can type it in the chat, and we'll.
she's doing it now. She's gonna do it now.
Okay.
And then that's a problem too, Jason. That some of the young folk don't have any respect for elders, black or white. I mean, for me, it starts with the parents, and a lot of the parents they're just not teaching the kids that.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get back to the officers. So let me ask this question, and y'all know I like to ask different questions to get us to think. And let me say this first. By no means do I think that those officers were right. Um, Excessive force, absolutely. I was angry when I saw the video. That's why I didn't want to see it because I know my anger. Because I have family members that's his age, and that boy was a baby. He had a lot of life in him. He had a baby. He had a
Mm.
child that's gonna grow up fatherless now because of some senselessness. And when I heard that boy holler out for his mama,
Just takes you back to George Floyd
it,
situation.
it does, and it was sad. So everything that has happened to them thus far, I totally agree with. But I want to ask this question, and then we're going to get back to the rest of our questions. This question wasn't one of mine, but I just thought about it. These specialty squads are being trained to do just what they did. In my mind, you got these squads that's being trained to do that in these neighborhoods. Um, if just like in the army, if you're being trained to do something time and time and time again, do you think that one somebody higher up that's over top of these squads should also be reprimanded because you're sending these men in there day in day out to do just what they did every day. You give them the power to do that. They don't report to any low level supervisor, lieutenant. They report straight to the chief. You give them that authority to do that. And to me, seeing the video and them knowing, they know they got a body camera on. They
Mm.
know there's street cameras above them, and they didn't care.
Mm.
They didn't care. So that tells me that they've done this before, time and time and time,
Yeah.
time and time again, over and over and over. And now they got this sense of power. They're being trained to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the chief and whomever, they let them boys go quick. They let them go quick. But I think somebody else need to be reprimanded for this as well, for allowing this to continually happen, allowing this policeman that has excessive force issues already to continue to be on the force, domestic violence issues to continue to be on the force. It ain't just them that need to go. It's some other people that need to go too in Memphis and probably some other places around in the United States of these here Americas. You know, I'm just trying to I'm just thinking full circle because somebody else gonna go out there and do it again, but we might not hear about it because they might not kill the boy. They're gonna beat him
So
up.
I'll say this: if and I may get stopped tonight, who knows? But I'm gonna say it anyway. If you cut off the head, the body will not live. But in order for us to cut off the head, you have to break this system down. This system is so broken right
Mm.
now. This system has been broken, just like Tanya just put in there, since slavery times. That's how policing started in America. Policing started in the slavery times. Um, but in order for that to change, you have to change the entire system.
Mm-hmm.
So the chief of that police department, she's not even the head of this. You got to go higher than that. And then you got to go higher than that. Then you got to go higher than that. And you have to break this down. This, in my opinion, this needs to be broken down like the Roman Empire got broken down, and
Well,
start
I know,
over.
It's gonna happen.
But that'll
we need
never
the
happen.
Black Caucus.
Never happen.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
know
gonna
they
happen.
with the Black Caucus soon about this police reform and the George Floyd
It's gotta happen. Ain't no
reforms.
The
Can
only
I
way
say
for it
this?
to happen is if the America as we know it today, the Constitution as we know it, the system as we know it, when that falters, and that takes hundreds of years for an empire. America is an empire. Let's not get it twisted. We're living in an empire, and
Come on,
in
the
order
real
for that
picture
to change,
was.
the empires break down. This empire is not going anywhere anytime soon, and that's unfortunate. I mean, it's the truth. The truth of the matter is, it's not going anywhere.
And I ain't even at this point. I ain't even talking about black or white. I'm talking about police. Period in our
Period.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Can I
Period.
say something?
Go ahead.
Like the brother, I gotta say this too, and concur with the brother and say this about the system itself. You know, do you have to actually really sit back and look at it from a whole. Well, as he said, you're gonna have to go back and break the whole system down. We'll be dead before that happens. We won't see it in our lifetime.
It's almost
Because
like a
it's gonna
car.
have to go through.
It's almost
Yeah.
like car. If you got a car that's continually messing up, you have to sometimes go back down and break that. If let's say a carburetor, you got to break that carburetor down and see what's broken. I mean, you got to fix it from garbage and bring it back. This is just the same thing, in my opinion.
I want to say something about what Tanya said.
Tanya, right?
I'm removing
You're right.
race from the police part of it, because white people shouldn't be killing our black boys and black people
can't.
shouldn't be killing our black boys.
Nobody.
Period. I'm gonna remove
That
I'm gonna remove black and white, because I don't want to see a policeman kill another one of our black men. Period. This case,
well, if
I
you're talking
understand.
about the police, if
I'm
you're
just
talking
talking.
about the police, you can't, or the system. Period. We can't take race out of it, because actually, if you take, then you it was all structured from racism, so it's impossible to take it out of it. Now, I'm not saying that we have to continue to go on with this.
I'm not talking about against black people. I'm talking about if we talk about stopping policemen from killing our black people, I can't just say I don't want black cops to kill our black people. I want all cops to stop killing our black people. So we got to look at it as, how do we get all cops to stop killing our black people? Because I don't just want to go
The thing
into
is
the
with
black.
that, I don't think that's gonna ever stop. I don't think that's gonna ever stop.
That's sad to say.
That's not.
Maybe
It's
still.
not, because see, the thing is with that, it all goes back, and I don't know, it still goes back to knowledge itself. Because if I'm sitting, if okay, we both know, I'm not gonna say, we all know that God and the devil lives inside of us. You have a choice in the morning when you get up. You got a chance and a choice. You got a chance because you got another day. You got a choice to decide whether or not you're going to live godly today or you're going to be the devil today. Which one you're going to decide. And whichever that dwells in you the most likely that's what you're going to live out today.
Yeah,
but we all have that devil inside of us. So if God is real, then the devil is real. And when you're dealing, okay, think about it. When you're looking at it, we're looking at it as civilians. You don't want to see that tragedy or that tragic or them killings and those homicides, rapes and murders and all these different things. But these are things that they see every day. A lot of them are psychologically, fucked up for real. You know, and they don't go talk to people for real.
Right.
They don't.
That's why the suicide rate.
They don't. A lot of PTSD.
That's why the suicide rate is so high when it comes to police officers. with them killing themselves. You see and you go with so much. Now, I'm not saying that as an excuse, but now I'm just gonna be honest, dealing with killers, just dealing with killers, period. You know, like I said, I'm from the streets. You know what I mean? And I know a killer when I see it. And a lot of them cops, they just straight killers. It don't even matter. And anything, if you're dealing with a person that will kill you quick and they have the authority to be able to kill you quick, what you think gonna happen if you add it? We're gonna kill you. It's not gonna be, there's no medium in between that.
And it was just like,
what
yeah,
a lot of them
value for his life to beat him like that.
That's the problem.
No.
You gotta, just like Sean said in the beginning, if they looked at him as they look at themselves at like another black man, you wouldn't have dragged him out of his car and beat him up like that. I just
they're
feel
not looking
like
at themselves as black men. They're looking at themselves as being the police. They're looking at themselves as being blue. Which is the sad
right thing. That's right there. You say that again.
They blue. They
no,
bleed blue.
And that's the sad thing, because you've actually allowed these people to make you think that you are a true part of their system when you're actually really not. You're just being there as a puppet to be able to control your own neighborhoods for real.
And that's
man,
what
a lot of them guys a lot of them guys is puppets, man. They got hands so far up their asses that every time they move, they make a move. So you know, I'm sorry for y'all but it's just it pissed me off, because it's like, come on, man, seriously. And a lot of us sit back and act like we don't see it.
Right.
Really? You don't see this? I mean, you mean to tell me if you come from a black community, you got to see this?
So that's why I say that you gotta find out what their kryptonite is. And that's where I was saying where I understand where y'all are coming from, where you say that there are black people being killed, and I truly, yes, I do believe that. But if you look at the things that I've seen, you follow the stuff that I look at on YouTube with We the People Universities, Long Island audits, just a lot of these auditors, a lot of them, half of them black, half of them white. Police don't care about that. They don't care about the color. What they do is they care about that blue. They care about the color of that blue, and that's a power. That's all I'm saying. I don't, when I go to when I see a police officer on the street now, I don't look at them like, man, you pig, you this or that. I look at them like an individual, and because that's how I want them to look at me. And when they come to me, that's how I want them to come to me as an adult, as a grown ass man or a grown ass woman. If you come to me with respect, like and I will come to you with that. But best believe it's a power thing. In my opinion, it's a power thing.
Definitely, it's power. The blue lies.
You know what?
I totally agree with that. When you look at that video, that's all you see.
If we truly live by the system that a lot of us say that we do, and the principles and morals that we say that we do on others that you would want others to do unto you, a lot of that killing will stop.
Yep.
Agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
For real. Like I say, I'm not promoting violence at the same time. Violence. If you kill my son, I don't care who you are. I'm just saying who you are. You kill my son, and I track yours down and kill him. Am I wrong? If you want to do to others as you want others to do unto you, an eye for an eye, am I wrong? You see what I'm saying? You beat my son up on the streets.
Sean, I live with that, brother. I live with that. Somebody killed me.
I want you to talk about.
I'm just like, huh? What you say?
Frank, tell us your story, Frank.
So, 2017, somebody killed my son, and Sean, when you said something as far as should I go and kill his son or kill him? That's something I fight with every day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, I'll be honest with you,
I
man.
understand, bro.
If the police ever, or if I ever called on the news, or if the police ever came to me and said that man was dead, it it wouldn't be a, oh, what happened to it? It would be happiness, because that man took my happiness. And for the last
I understand.
almost 6 years that I've had to deal with that. So I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a part, another human aspect of me that says, I don't want that man, if I take that man's kids out, I don't want that man to feel what I'm feeling. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want nobody to
That's
feel
the
what I'm
God
feeling.
in you, bro.
That's a human side
That's
of
the
you.
God
That's the
in
That's
you,
God.
bro.
That's the God in you.
That's that God in you, bro.
But it hurts. It hurts. It hurts to give that up. Because I'm a Scorpio, so I want vengeance. I want vengeance bad than a motherfucker. I ain't lying. I want to see it, but then that like you said, the God in me is saying that I don't want anyone to hurt like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a painful thing. And that's why I feel for Tyre Nichols' mom and dad. That I've never heard them say anything about his dad, but his stepfather. So I'll say his
Stepfather.
mom and stepfather. I know what they're going through, man. They had there. It's not. We always look at this is not supposed to happen like this. We're supposed to be the other way around. They're
Sorry for
supposed
your
to see
loss,
me on my deathbed,
bro.
not me seeing them on theirs. And it's hard.
Right.
And also I'll say this too.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'll
That's
add
true,
to this.
Tanya.
When I say something about the police, not all police, and you guys are right. Not all police are bad. The detectives that worked on my son's case, and Detective Mallory, I commend you. And every time I'll even see you, I would shake your hand. And because I know that they worked on my son's case. So I'm not talking about the police officers that are out here trying to make a difference. What I am talking about are these police officers who want your ID, and if you don't give them your ID, they want to beat you up. They want to manhandle you. And if you are recording them, they want to beat you up. They want to manhandle you. If you go 57 in a 40 in a 50, they want to beat you, and you want to argue with them, or you want to ask them what's going on. They want to beat you up. They want to manhandle. They want to make you do what they want you to do, and that's not cool. That's not cool
Yeah.
to me, man.
Abusive. That's an abuse of power. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, I got a question for you guys, and if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. But I want to know, and this is a question for me. Um, if given the opportunity, if you were given the opportunity and you could say something to those five, forget the other people, to those five black cops, what would you say to them?
My question would be why? Why did you feel like you had to take that man's life? Well, actually, they probably didn't think that they were taking his life at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would ask them, why do you feel like you had to beat that man up like you did? Give me an answer, brother. I just need to know what was going on in your head. Was it adrenaline? Was it anger? Was it something? Why did you feel like you had to take those types of measures? For a man, it was 5 to 10 of y'all on one person. And don't get me wrong, I done been in situations where it's been 5 people. We jump on one person. I done been there. And I can apologize to that dude today if I ever seen those people. Like, man, it was stupid. We shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have done that. But I would want to know why.
Sean,
Well,
who
I
would
would
you
be
say
honest. I
to
hope
do
these
something?
dumbasses get everything that I hope they die in the penitentiary. And that's just because first of all, you stupid for allowing them people, for you to think that them people didn't accept you into their fraternity of an order of police as shown enough a member of that. You stupid for that anyway,
Mm-hmm.
for going that far with it. You know what I mean? Then on top of that, then you're gonna look at this man that could have been your brother and you're gonna kill him instead of you helping him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought most of the people that I hear from all the younger guys that I'm talking about, oh man, you would be surprised. Giving me the person that I am was cutting the police and still cut the police hair. What? And that be my question. Man, why are you doing that? Man, I
But
want to
both
make
of
a
y'all
difference.
asked why.
I want to make a
Right.
difference. Okay. Make sure you be the difference that you want to see.
And is it a good difference?
Yeah, you be the difference that you want to see. Don't go in there and adapt to what they got going on because you're not gonna make a difference, my partner. You can just gonna become a part of the problem.
Right.
As you can see, that is a major problem. But honestly, for real, I would be honest. I hope they go to penitentiary and they put them in general population
They don't.
That don't happen.
and all of them die. Eh, I'm just being honest.
Well,
You know, come
yeah,
on, man. You don't
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you
look
at
at
me
how
all.
either.
many lives. Look at the lives that you've destroyed. Okay, I'm not, and you know what? And I'm not gonna say, you know, it's just, I'm saying that like that because I'm upset, but at the same time, them guys was black. Look at their families that they hurt.
Right.
There's so many different families, so many different lives that you've affected by this, by not thinking, man. You know,
Alex said
it's just.
Mm.
Alex said 26.75% depression rate among officers yearly. Average beginning rate 18.50 an hour, which is some of the stuff Sean was saying. These conversations are gonna continue until they weed out the bad actors, increase wages so serious candidates will apply, and provide them with adequate counseling. The requirement to be an officer is to be 18 years old, U.S. citizen, high school diploma, and they trust to deal with different situations. The requirements are low, and that's a
I
problem.
agree with that too.
These boys that I see walking around Savannah, little boys, they little boys, little boys.
Yeah.
And half of them don't know how to fight. These ones did, but half of them don't know how to fight. So they're gonna use their gun and they're gonna use
Man,
whatever they can. They're gonna use whatever they can. I'm
but
not
we
making
setting them up. We
nobody,
setting
period.
them up for failure, though.
There you go.
We setting them up for
Yeah.
failure
There you go. Every
because
time.
But see,
if
and
you,
here's the other thing. So I'm an insurance agent, right? So if I with me, if I do something, let's say Red, I sell you a policy, but I lied on that policy. You told me that you got heart disease. I didn't put it on there. You told me that you pregnant with quadruplets. I didn't put that on there because I want to get you the cheapest rate. Insurance company, if the insurance commission come find that out, not only do I lose my license in Missouri, I can't sell insurance in anywhere else. Nowhere else can I sell that.
Mm.
That's not the same for a police officer. If a police officer does something in Kansas City and he gets reprimanded and he gets let go, he can go to over on the Kansas side, Kansas City, Kansas, not be in Kansas, Missouri. He can go to Kansas City, Kansas side and get a job. He can go to Savannah and get a job. You know, and that's not the come on. Let's stop that. Let's stop that for real.
That's the truth. That's the truth. I was
you
told this
know,
story today. I was told that there was a situation where some cops here witnessed a child, a baby, being drowned, and a
Mm.
witnessed it, and they were bothered. You could tell that they were bothered. They didn't get any counseling. They were expected to come back to work the next day like nothing had happened.
Mm.
The one thing, and Sharita's a licensed practice counselor. You know, when you dealing with stuff, just in general, that everybody need a little help sometimes.
Absolutely.
Policemen, they don't get that help, and I'm not making an excuse for what happened. I'm with you, Sean. I know the God in me, but I think they should suffer.
Mm.
But these cops, they just have to deal. And if they get counseling, they got to go get it on their own. And I think personally that a counselor should be in that precinct.
Should be mandatory.
should be mandatory.
Yep.
They need to have somebody to talk to because they see stuff all
the
day
time.
long.
I
And
agree.
you said good cops. I know there's good cops out there because I was married to one. And if anybody tells me that he did something to somebody like that, I'm going to know something went wrong. I am, personally, because I know him. He's the cop out there talking to people before he even do anything, period. I feel like twofold. The police failed that young man.
Mm-hmm.
We need to say his name. The police failed Tyre Nichols. They failed him. And that police force failed these men as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my stance.
That's where it started.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I agree.
You can drop the mic.
That's where it
on that.
started. The police force actually set them up. They set them up for failure. They being set up for failure. Man, you barely can even get all your bills in order and pay all your bills on your own. And you talking about at least a community? Really? You fresh out of high school. You don't even have that kind of understanding. You know, you don't have that kind of understanding to be able to police a community, man. It's just, and that's what's going on with a lot of the problem. A lot of the problem is lack of understanding as well.
Maybe they
It's
need to
not
go to school for 2 years before they can even get a license to be an officer.
I mean, it should be a little bit
That's
more
it,
than
bro.
Yeah, it should be a little bit more than that. Like Tyre said,
Why you have?
And
Can I say
Tanya
this? I'm
said,
sorry, y'all. I don't mean to keep cutting you.
Hold on. Tanya said something. She said there is support out there, but they have to seek it, and they look weak if they seek it. The
See, that should
support,
be mandatory.
support
It
to
should
me
be mandatory.
be in the precinct. In the city of Savannah, you gotta go seek that support. You gotta go find it. You gotta set it up for you. I mean, you gotta go find it. It should be in the precinct. It should be there and ready in case something happens. They should be coming to those officers and saying, "We know you saw this.
Mm-hmm.
You need help. We need you to go to this counseling session before you can go back out on the street."
Absolutely. But
So
people it's so short. They're so short staffed on the police.
That's true.
So they probably not gonna push that. I mean,
but here's the thing on that red though. That's the thing.
And
And
money.
I don't know if y'all heard about. There's a in Atlanta. They're building a $90 million facility. They're calling it Cop City, and it's for police officers to go and train how to do things and bust in the doors and all that stuff. It's a $90 million facility. Look it up. Look it up in Atlanta, Cop City. You'll see it. But they're taking that $90 million and building that instead. And actually, they've killed the protesters. They killed a protester just recently that was protesting that.
wow.
But instead of taking that $90 million and building this city, take that $90 million and fund a separate department that is out here that can counsel police officers, help them, and that will police them, not in internal affairs, because we know the internal affairs are a joke. Y'all are a joke.
We need to get our own police so we can police the police, man.
They
We
do
need our
have
own police.
police or citizens around. I think that Richmond was trying to get a committee where they had citizens from the community to be on some kind of committee. I don't know if it went through, but I do remember hearing something like that. Like
Instead
working
of
with
guys going around killing each other, all us should come together and our own team and our own force and police the police and police our own communities. That's the only way it's gonna change. Other than that, we're gonna continue to die, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's how Crips and Bloods actually started.
You know, guess what? You know, the biggest Crips and Bloods is the
Boys and Blue.
the Republic. Look at it. You see it.
Oh, the Republicans,
That
the
red and
Democrats?
blue. You see it.
Don't get me started on that one. Don't get me started.
No, we're not getting started on that one. We don't get him. Nope, we're not doing it. doing it. We not. We
So
not.
this has been
On
great. This has been great. Do you guys have to close out? Do you guys have anything else you want to add to what we talked about?
I just want to say thank y'all for having me on your platform. I appreciate it. And
We thank you.
nice meeting you, brother.
Nice meeting you too, Sean. And I thank y'all for allowing us to be on. I'll just add on to this, and I'll say it all begins with, as Sean was saying earlier, all begins with knowledge of self. You have to know yourself. You have to love yourself for you to love somebody else.
Absolutely.
Once you get that love in, there's nothing else that can defeat love. God has already put it out there. There's nothing greater than love. Nothing. So get that love.
Look at your partner, Frank. Put it back up there, Sharita.
What is that? That's right. Jay would know that I don't like the government. But a part of the reason I don't like the government is because of all the things that they do.
Look, they're not gonna be bugging my house, Frank, talking about the government, because they watch.
I know that they probably done been in my house about 50 times. Say that boy ain't doing nothing but watching The Office. He ain't doing nothing.
They listening to us right now.
They are.
Listen, guys, I want to say thank you to you too. I want to say thank you to you guys because it takes a lot to be able to come on.
Y'all gonna be in Facebook jail.
Candy gonna put us. We gonna be in Facebook jail.
It takes a lot for you guys to come on and speak like this. So I truly appreciate it. And I want to say this. This is part 1. We have a part 2 coming up next week. I hope and pray that she'll still come on with us because we have a former sergeant. I'm not gonna say her name just in case she doesn't make it, but she's a former sergeant, and she's gonna talk to us from the viewpoint of a cop. So hopefully you guys will come back. We love the fact that she is a woman because of course we're inspired her. We want to hear that viewpoint, that untainted viewpoint from a cop, from somebody that was there. She's no longer a cop, but from somebody that was there.
Can I ask this question?
Sure.
Now I don't know if you will, but I got I could find out if y'all wouldn't mind that probably he may will be willing to join y'all platform. I got a chief of police that I do. I'm not gonna say what department, but
we have. Trust me, I have asked several cops, several of them, and all of them have said no because they are still active or they're consulting. So if he says no, I understand why. This is why we got a form.
I'm not gonna ask him.
Okay. And I'm just telling you, we've asked several and they said no, and I understood why. This is she's a former cop. So she and it's still probably gonna be some things that she, will not touch. And I've given her the ability to say, I don't want to talk about that. But she's willing to come on and we want to talk to her. We just want to get a little bit deeper. I'm passionate about this topic, as you can see. So like I said, thank you guys for coming on and thank everybody for listening because Tyre Nichols deserves to have his name said. We don't want to forget about him. We want to continue to do what we can do, period. And that's just point blank.
Absolutely.
So join us again next week, same time. We're going to be talking about Tyre again. Did they protect and serve? And do what you can do in your community, guys. I saw all the passionate comments. But what you're going to do for me to help me understand whether you really care is to do what you can do in your own community, even if that means pulling on a young brother, a little nephew, and saying, hey, let me talk to you for a minute. Let me talk to you about each one.
And Frank the Tank, he's from Kings Can Move On podcast. You want to share a little bit about your podcast? Because you've been on our podcast several times and we've been on yours. So tell us a little bit about yours before we close out.
be real quick. Just check us out on Kings Can Move On podcast. We're on all streaming forums, YouTube, Google, all that stuff, Apple, all that stuff, Spotify. Just go check us out. Kings Can Move On. Two brothers just doing the right thing. That's all we're doing. Boom.
Frank the Tank
Frank the Tank. Wood up to no good.
is a #1 barber in the city of Richmond, VA,
Yes.
hometown. Tell us where we can get a haircut at, Sean.
Well, right now I'm at High Point Barber Shaving Parlor, right on Altamont Drive, right across from the Bow Tie, right behind Pop Alley.
Okay.
Okay.
Off
So
the
if y'all
Asheville
want to
Boulevard.
go get that
Yeah.
fresh cut, go see Sean.
And Sean is also the hubby of one of our BFFs, Candy. Candy, come on in the camera.
That's right. Let us see your face, girl. I know you back there somewhere.
Yeah.
She back. She back there.
You know she is in the background, always talking.
Thank you, Candy, for lending your husband.
That's
Lending
right.
your husband.
The Spraggleys.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We love you, y'all. We love you too, Frank the Tank. We're gonna
Yes.
say
Hey, thank y'all.
thank y'all for coming.
Frank, take care.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
We are
Thank
here
y'all.
to
Appreciate it.
inspire
I'm gonna check out your
her,
podcast too,
the
bro.
total woman.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes.
All right.
We